Good morning, everybody. This is Judith Echo. You're listening to Mad Love. Let's get into it. So, the government has shut down. And like I said, my question is okay, does Ukraine and Israel still get their giant checks from us? Or however they deliver their millions of dollars to them? That's insane. We are living in such a weird time. And I hope that this is short lived, and I hope that it doesn't last any length of time. I feel like Congress is completely bought and sold by AIPAC and other Israel organizations that donate under different names. Um, and it's almost like they can't talk about any real issue, or we can't hold them true to their credibility because they're so deeply embedded and bought off by a foreign country. And I wonder how much of the shutdown has to do with the fact that, nobody can really talk about anything because 90% of Congress, more than 90, I would say 97% of Congress belongs to Israel. And I know that it might sound like I'm conflating the issues. Like, I'm not really sure why the government is shut down, why they can't agree on a budget, but I bet that's part of it. Because they haven't been doing anything for America in a long time. I'm serious. Why don't we have high-speed rail? Why are our bridges and overpasses grade D? Look it up. I'm not making anything up. Look up the infrastructure. Look up the grades of most of America's bridges. It's horrible. They're wondering when most of them are going to collapse because there hasn't been any significant infrastructure since the 50s. There's no innovation. Why are we so comfortable sending hundreds of millions and billions of dollars to other countries? What do we get out of it? What are we investing in? And they'll tell you it's got something to do with public safety, but it doesn't. I don't get it. I don't understand what America is doing. I'm not kidding. I've been strongly wanting to move to Toronto. They make movies there. I would be a good Canadian. I'm just ready to live a quiet and impactful life, and I feel I can do that there. I don't feel like I can do that here. Because America is on the road to complete ruin. The only thing that's going to change anything is an act of God, some sort of natural disaster. I don't know. But these billionaires, these tech people who think they're geniuses and know everything, you don't have to be a genius to become a billionaire. You might have to be a little bit of a sociopath. I think that might be true. You've got to be able to be myopically focused on your goal and nothing else, and crushing other people's skulls on the way to the top. And let's be honest, you can live a happy life well below $1 billion. At a certain point, you can't tell me that $100 million wouldn't be enough money to live your very best life. It's not the money. It's the control. It's the fact that you think because you've figured out how to make money, or you inherited a lot of money like Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and you turned it into more money, that makes you some sort of genius. The fact that you think that you need to control other people is the problem. It's the controlling of other people that I have the bigger issue with. I'm a capitalist. I want everybody to win. Make your bread. Get it. I have no problem with that. What I have a problem with is why you feel like you have to control me because you have some money, or why you think you're better than me because you have a little bit of money. That's strange to me. And I think there are a lot of people out here coasting on external successes, and they're not exactly good people. And we look up to them. Like the fact there's tons of people who think Elon Musk is worth listening to and following on social media. I'm not one of those people. And I totally think some of these folks are just sociopaths. And all these politicians, you could just roll them all up in a big ball and drop them off something, and I wouldn't care. Maybe keep Thomas Massey because I like him. He's the only person I saw who took $0 from AIPAC. Now, I didn't study the list, but if you go to Track AIPAC, trackipac.com, and scroll through, you'll see like there's just Republicans and Democrats alike have just taken all this money. I think Maxine Waters had only taken like $4,000, and they were working on trying to make her position more clear, even though she's too old. She needs to retire. She's a St. Louisan, by the way. But she made her bones in California. But she's also too old. They need to have term and age limits. Sorry. Anyway, enough of that. You know where I stand. I just think it's crazy. But thank you. I've started to sell some copies of my Refuel the Caregiver's Handbook. It's $14.99. It's a digital download. It's packed full of information. I put it together because everybody's not going to be able to just sit down and go through and read all the newsletters. And that's fine. I put together a handbook. It's a good starter kit. And I'm going to be honest with you. I would have paid $30 for that. I would have done anything to not have to Google at 3 o'clock in the morning every single issue that I wound up Googling at 3 o'clock in the morning because I didn't know anything. And most of you all are going to be like me. You don't know much about the details. Your loved one hasn't been all that forthcoming, and they don't tell you things, and you don't know what state their finances are in. You don't know who the title of the house is in. My parents got divorced, and I think when I went to go get the deed put in my name, they couldn't even find the original deed. They couldn't find, no, they found the one from the 60s, but not the one from the 90s when my mom got the house put in her name alone. Like, it sounds like something you shouldn't even have to think about, but you will, because you're going to have to hire an attorney and help you put all these things together. So you either hire them while they're still alive, or you hire them before they pass or after they pass away. But at some point, you got to figure out how to get all their affairs in order. There is a business, a ton of accounting and paperwork attached to a human. And that's how we've decided to do it. So you got to find, titles to cars, deeds to houses. And the sooner you do it, the better. The less sick the person is while you're doing it, the better. They can sign things, they can say things in their right mind, and you can create a whole world of paperwork around them that gets everything resolved. The longer you put it off, the more you're going to be like, why didn't I just do it this way? Because you think it's like me falling down the steps. You think you're going to stop. You think you've reached a plateau. You think, it'll be okay. And it's never that, especially with something long-term and chronic like Alzheimer's. It's just going to keep being work. Don't beat yourself up about it. Do what you can do, but make sure you get help, when you need it. And make a plan. The sooner, the better. And it doesn't have to be heavy. It doesn't have to be the worst talk you ever had. Just express, like, if you love us and you care about us, which I know that you do, you will want to put your affairs in order. It's not because we're ready for you to die. If you could live forever, that would be great. But we need to get these things handled and resolved. And because you love us, you want to get it handled and resolved too. That's it. That's truly it. And it's stressful and it's frustrating and it's scary. But go ahead, pick up that download. You can get it at, I'll put a link in the notes of the show, but you can buy it in a couple different spots. And just go ahead and do yourself a solid. I would have paid any amount of money for that because literally everything for the last 4 years of my mom's life was me waking up in the night, looking it up on Google. Yeah, why isn't she sleeping? Why should I take her to the hospital? Why did the doctor say this? Why, it's so important. And a lot of us we're doing it now, we're doing it siloed, and we're doing it in silence. But if you start talking, you'll realize that there's somebody that you deal with all the time, and they're doing it too. And it's hard. And you'll want somebody to talk to. So just stay on top of it. Make smart decisions and try to make sure your loved one has everything they need. It's called Refuel, the Caregiver's Handbook. I'm proud of it. I have spent a lot of time thinking about this. I do not make a ton of money from this platform. I don't know why. Otherwise, I think people just don't want to talk about this. But, I should be the number one podcast because this is the number one issue headed towards most American families. And if you're wondering how you're going to do it all, just introduce parent care, elder care. What are you going to do with your parents? And all of you all think I guarantee you, everybody's like, well, I'll just put her somewhere. Oh, he'll just go somewhere. Oh, he can't come live with us, so we'll just put her somewhere. Or he can't come live with us, we'll just put him somewhere. Or, there's no way I can have her live with me, or she can come live with me. And then you really get deep in it. You get completely immersed, because then you start to realize, maybe someone should come help us. Maybe this is expensive. It's all these different things. Because, like I said, they're not just getting old, they're old and sick. And it's a lot. It's really a lot. So I'm not sure why people aren't talking about it. I'm not sure what people are expecting when they apply for Medicaid, because you're going to be broke in order to get Medicaid. You got to be super poor, and they're going to take everything. That's why I didn't want my mom on it. Because even if I sold her house 5 years after she was dead, if she had been on Medicaid, they would come after that. They have something called a Medicaid recovery plan. Come on, bro. And most people are going to have to get on Medicaid because care is so expensive. It's something, and it's coming for most families. It's coming for all of our families in some form or fashion. So my advice is to get prepared. And that's really all I have on my mind. I don't understand why Israel is in charge of America, why Israel gets to spy on Americans and America isn't allowed to spy on Israel. I don't know what that's all about. And I don't understand why people, why it's not on the news every day about caregiving. You're going to have to negotiate caregiving in your work packages, because there's no way you're going to escape being part of that care team if you care about your loved ones, if you care about your parents, uncles, aunts, spouses. People are getting diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia in their 40s and 50s now. Imagine that. And there are other chronic long-term illnesses that are crippling people. So you just have to decide how you want to live your life. And these are the little nuances that they don't teach you in school. No one seems to talk about it. But, you got to leave enough runway after all of the paperwork to grieve the person you love. And they're sick and they're not who you remember them to be. So, yeah, it's an interesting time to be alive. All right, everybody. Happy October. We're at the end of the year practically. We're in our last 3 months. So it's time to get serious about your goals and dreams and what you want to see happen. It's time to get in alignment with your best self so you can live your best life. Take care. Have an amazing day.